So my presentation, uh, my presentation is reliability of mental health with social media. My synopsis is social media. We're going to be covering just social media in general and Twitter and Facebook and how they look at them the same and differently. And then public health officials and how they give their kind of opinion on the social media and overall influence people's decisions. And then college students and mental health, they tie in together. This is kind of looking at how college students look at social media for their mental health help. So the topic is the purpose of this study was to see if the presence of first-person testimonials and educational mental health information placed on Facebook and Twitter influences college students. So what this means is it's kind of just like what do they look at more, Twitter or Facebook, and then how does looking at them affect what they see and believe. And then 80% of students report to look at social media for health information. So that obviously shows that this study has a lot of significance. So with so many users looking at social media for information, like I said, it leaves a great opportunity for public health officials to put information online. What this means is they can share their views on mental health and how to fight it. And if that's the best source out there, people are likely to believe it. So the argument is beliefs depend on recency of information, follower count, and the platform. This kind of means like what people tend to believe is maybe even if it's not the best way, people believe on the recency of when it came out. For example, if someone posted on Facebook an hour ago, you're likely to be like, dang, this just happened and it's true. Their follower count shows how reliable they are and the platform they've had, as in recent history of what they've posted. Facebook is seen as a more believable platform for things like this, while Twitter is kind of taken less serious in serious matters. So while people usually see sharing of mental health experiences on Twitter, they feel like if it has a failure to relate to the unwritten rules on the medium, this kind of means it's just like you can't relate to something through a Twitter post. And it is not clear how someone's personal experiences with the subject influences platform's beliefs. What this means is someone had depression in the past and they're starting to feel some type of emotions again. Their past, we can't determine how their past dictates how they view social media for health. So some of the methods they did in this study where participants were brought to a lab where they each got assigned a computer that showed a variety of Facebook and Twitter messages. So they had a computer in front of them and they just had Facebook and Twitter messages write down them. And after looking and reading the messages, they each did a survey and they finished, were provided a fact sheet by the local mental health and dismissed from the lab. So they kind of could reflect on their own. And then the study employed a two mental health information design versus testimonial versus no testimonial with social media platforms, Twitter versus Facebook. What this means is testimonial versus no testimonial is they tested the people to see how they really felt through the questionnaires, maybe. And non-testimonial is someone who just told them how they feel, like from their own head, kind of with a bias, maybe. Factorial design to explore the processing and impact of mental health information on social media platforms. So their theory was participants completed two mental health belief items. So this is basically they completed and acknowledged that this is what they believe in. Is it is important for college students to take care of their mental health, and I believe it is important for me to take care of my own mental health. So basically, what that means is they acknowledge that mental health is important, and that all college students experience mental illness. Suicide is the second leading cause of death among college students. Uh, were standardized across message condition to prevent potential co-founding effects of source and information bias. What this means is like I mentioned on this slide, um, the health professionals, how they can dictate somebody. Yeah, they can basically control what they're putting out there and have information bias. That's what information bias means, the professionals. So my analysis is conducted analysis of covariance to control for the direct and interactional effects of both the health information presentation manipulation and social media platform, Twitter or Facebook, controlling the influence of gender, racial, ethnic, and division, native speaking language. So what this means is just the way that Twitter or Facebook can control someone's thought process. They turned it into an equation, and they saw how those two can see differences in how people can react to gender, racial, ethnic different identification, native speaking language. So people see different platforms automatically as a different level of what you can take seriously in a way. It is also has a lot to do with the creator in ways such as followers and date posted. So in my conclusions, I first person testimonial and education mental health information placed on Facebook and Twitter influences college students depending on how much they personally can believe the creator. So this was the biggest conclusion I came to. It basically had to say the creator of whatever is published has a lot to do with the way they word things, what people believe, and public officials dictate what you see on social media by them having the biggest platform in their statements, where bias could become a thing. Like I said earlier, bias happens when the big people are getting the most views and they can say what they want. And with any type of bias, unless they're obviously a professional, they don't want to risk their job. But yeah, that's basically it.